All the links to the original posts are given in the description. So now let's head straight to the video. My fiancé just said I'm replaceable. I met my now fiancé 2 years ago and have been engaged for a year. Compared to my last boyfriend, he is generally a breath of fresh air. He's supportive and is very loving. He's the first person who ever truly loved me. Over the past few months though, we start to argue more. He wanted me to quit my job once we have kids so I can homeschool them. I'm not ready for kids and would want any future kids to be going to school. He got more upset with each argument, saying that I'm depriving him of kids. I finally suggested that maybe we should take a week from each other to cool off. He just said that I can easily be replaced at any time and that I'm not special. I feel really hurt right now. How do I get him to fix the issue and be apologetic for what he said? Edit. Since the mods love to hide my comments, I'll update in that I read your comments. The issue is that he was amazing before and that's the real him I saw. He did seem to be depressed from work lately and I want him to get back to the old good self. It's not a case where he's abusive as he wouldn't hit me. He did apologize for the replaceable comment. Few responses from the community. Response 1. Replace him. You're replaceable, okay, replace you. It's not like you're losing anything valuable if he doesn't value you. God, find someone you're special to. Not hitting you is a low bar. You have different outlooks on life and are not compatible besides him being mean. Response 2. I'm so sorry, but your normal meter is broken and you've just fallen into another kind of abusive dynamic. Until you get therapy, you're not going to be equipped to figure out what a healthy relationship looks like. This is not a person you should marry. Please be safe. Response 3. Red flags. Don't. He spoke his mind. He showed you his truth, and for him it's that he does not value you. Nobody you want to spend the rest of your life with should be replaceable. And the fact that he thinks that way is honestly a huge red flag, not just for your relationship but for him as a person. You deserve better. Response 4. I know this isn't what you want to hear, but I'm genuinely worried that this relationship is also heading down an abusive pathway. It's not just calling you replaceable, though that on its own is concerning enough. The fact he wants to force you into a permanent stay-at-home role raises flags for establishing financial control over you. It's also incredibly manipulative and downright false for him to claim that refusing to homeschool children is the same as refusing him children. Because your last partner was so extreme in his abuse, your threshold for detecting unacceptable behavior in a relationship has been artificially heightened, meaning that anything that is not as bad as your ex's worst is tolerable to you. This is why many people go on to experience multiple abusive relationships in their lifetime. The combination of low self-esteem and a high threshold for tolerating disrespectful behavior means that people who have been abused previously will often miss the signs that people without that history will run a mile from. I can guarantee the very first time your ex put you down like this, you would have been as shocked and as heartbroken as you are now. But over time, as his behavior escalated, the put-downs would wash over you because at least he wasn't physically hurting you. No one starts out by beating you up on the first date, otherwise you wouldn't stay. Don't compare your current partner's behavior to your ex's worst behavior. Compare it to how your ex's abuse started. Do you know much about the dynamics and patterns of abusive relationships? I'd be very happy to share some resources. Worst case scenario, you read them and feel vindicated in your current perception of the relationship, and you can come back to them whenever you need to do a gut check. Also, for what it's worth, even if a relationship isn't abusive, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good, healthy, or worth staying in. Response 5. The reason he wants you to have his babies and be a stay-at-home mom is so that you'll be completely dependent on him. Basically abusive isolation, because he can then control every aspect of your life and you'll go along with it because you will feel so stuck and like you have no other option but to put up with his abuse. This is a very common tactic of abusers. Just because he's been better to you than the people of your past up to this point doesn't mean he's not an abuser. He's likely been covert. They know how to play the long game to get what they want. Not to mention you've likely dismissed red flags along the way because they weren't as bad in your eyes as past situations. He felt comfortable to tell you you're replaceable because he believes he's already got you right where he wants you, that you're not going anywhere, that you do not value yourself more than this relationship. Is he right? Do you not value yourself? If you stay with him, you're confirming that to him. It will not get better, even if he apologizes for the moment. Even if he were to cry and beg on his knees for you to stay and love bomb you back into a false sense of security. Abuse is insidious and only gets worse. You don't want the life that's laid out before you if you continue down this path with him. I promise nothing good will come of it. It might be daunting to think of starting over, especially since your love for him is real. But the pain of leaving is so much sweeter than the regret of waking up years later to the reality that you don't even know the person you're married to and leaving with kids in tow. So many years of trauma that could have been avoided if only you'd listen. And things being harder because you didn't go when it was just you. Now you have to battle them in family court and over holidays, and not even because they love the kids but because they use the kids to still maintain a level of control over you and hurt you long after you've left. Please be brave for yourself. Please let this turd go. I promise it's better than what's in store if you don't. Sincerely, an abuse overcomer who's been there, done that, burned the t-shirt.
If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.